And then I have a friend, which not related, that she's no longer my friend, just friends sometimes drift away. She had told me that her dream was to be on America's Next Top Model, and would I go with her to support her, because I'm the only friend she knew in the modeling industry. And she's like, come with me to support me and like tell me what you see, or what do you think, I want to see if I did good. And I didn't really know anything about the show. I mean, I was an 18, 19-year-old kid. I definitely couldn't afford cable, so I hadn't really seen the show per se. I knew of it, didn't fill out any paperwork, wasn't trying to be a part of it, but was literally, I'll never forget it, her name is Michelle Mock. She's the director right under Tyra of the whole show. They came to Houston. I think there were 10,000 girls.
They were like scouting, or they had like an, okay.
They went all around the U.S. scouting, and to like at the end of the scouting, there'll be 14 girls chosen, but I think 32, you have to make that cut to at least go to LA.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of girls came in.
I would say thousands. Yeah. Because Houston, people drove from Oklahoma, Louisiana for the Houston casting. I think there were about 8,000 girls. People that didn't have those
castings were coming to Houston. Wow. 8,000 girls?
Because they didn't go to every state. Yeah. They went to the major states.
This is incredible.
And so I was like, oh, I'll go with you. How should I plan for like food and water, or like should we pitch a tent? Like what are we doing here? Just like, no. I filled out all my paperwork. I did my reel, my submission. I just have to go in person. I don't know what else she had to do.
Maybe
I was standing in line with her.
Yeah.
And Michelle was walking down the line, just observing to get in the building. We're not even in the building yet.
Right.
And I'm talking to my friend, and she goes, you. And everybody, of course, in front of me, everybody turns. Who is she pointing at? She goes, you. She goes, come here. And she started walking towards me, and I was like, oh, no, I'm not trying out. This is my friend. Like, this is my friend.
Yeah.
And she says, no, you need to come with me. And I'm like, no.
You're like, sorry.
Well, no. I was like, well, no, I'm really not trying out, and I wouldn't qualify anyway, because one of the terms, and that was my friend, she wasn't, didn't have a contract. You cannot have a modeling contract to go on that show. Right. You just can't. They want people with no experience so they can mold them and be the next top model.
Right. They want to claim that they made them.
Yeah. So you can't. I had years of experience by then, so I was like, no. And so she pulled me aside. We talked for a minute. She said, look, take my business card. I want you to call me. My work cell phone's on there. And I'm like, okay. So I get back in the line, and long story short, my friend doesn't make it, and she's devastated. And I talked to my best friend here, who's also in fashion, and I was like, what do you think I should do? And she's like, are you stupid? Like, the director of Top Model wants you to come to try out. So I thought about it, and I went, right? And she absolutely loved me. She's like, off the record, and I could talk about it now, because I had a $2 million contract, like a gag order on me, that I couldn't talk about anything, but now it's lifted.
Yeah, we're getting the good stuff.
Getting the good juice.
The good juicy juice.
So I just was like, I thought about it, and I said, you know what? If my friend is really my true friend, she would want me to have this opportunity. You know what I mean?
It's huge.
And so I ended up calling her, and I went through the rounds, and she said, you're going to be our Texas girl for cycle 14. And I was like, I don't know. She said, well, we're sending you to LA with 32 other people around the country, and you just have to get through the eliminations. And that's how it really started.
I never knew this story. I mean, I knew you got on it through Houston. I had no idea that you did not go to audition. I mean, that's like a God thing.
She worked with me at Maggiano's when I was a hostess. I knew her from when I first moved to Texas. Wow. And so then the next hurdle was, I don't want to call my agency and tell them, can you do it? And they're like, we have lawyers. We have a lot of lawyers. What's their phone number? And God rest her soul, BJ Shell, she passed away during COVID. But she didn't like that phone call.
Right. And this was the owner of the modeling agency,
at the time.
One of the modeling agencies.
And I was like, I promised to come back.
Yeah, she was afraid you were going to go off to New York.
So it worked out.
Paris, never come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Crazy.
And literally, it happened so fast. I was told to go home, and someone would pick me up on Friday, and I'd be gone for about 2.5, 3 months filming.
Wow.
And so I had gotten engaged at that time. So
yeah. I remember when you left. I remember when you came back.
Yeah.
And so we might as well just go there and talk about it. So
I want to take a
yeah,
sip.
you better take some sips of wine for this one, because I'm about to dig into how it was to be on America's Top Model. I mean, of course, us being friends, I've heard some of the stories, but I think the people at home would really love to hear all about your experience on America's Top Model, and your experience with Tyra Banks and how it all went. I mean, I know they loved you because they basically hand selected you and took you there. And I've seen clips and I've seen the photos from there. I mean, sorry, but your photos are phenomenal from America's Top Model. Some of the best photos I've ever seen personally, I think, on that show.
Interesting you say that. Thank you.
Yeah, big time.
The reason I say interesting is, at the end of the day, remember, this is reality show and this is competition. So if you take, like any model knows, 300 photos on a photo shoot, if they want you out that week, they're going to post the one where you're like, this is your best photo. And you know that's not true. Exactly. So for me, that was the frustrating part as a professional model. None of the other girls on the show had ever modeled. They always wanted to. So I had the upper hand, and Tyra knew that, and I didn't know until later on, because I'm not behind the scenes when the judges are talking.
Right.
She literally said, and it was in the deleted scenes that they played, like the blips, what are we going to do with Brenda? She's so fava, her hair. Let's just chop it off and make her edgy like Halle Berry. But that didn't fit my personality. And that was her way of saying, we're going to dumb you down a couple notches.
Well, that's what she wanted to do, but that didn't work.
I don't know. They said I don't read the blogs, but they said I was a soccer mom. Look.
Are you kidding me? When I saw you get your hair cut, and when I saw you in the photo shoots with that haircut,
horrible.
Oh no, I honestly, bottom of my heart, was like, you look like a supermodel. You went from like a beautiful, gorgeous model to a supermodel in my eyes. And when you came back to Houston with that hair cut off, I was like, oh my God, I want to put her on the cover of every magazine in the world. Because I feel like I've got a little bit of that eye. We all do a little bit from being in the industry, but that's what I thought. And I know you hated it, because you right away told me you hated it.
I didn't like it.
But
it wasn't me.
I know, it's not your personality, but boy, that face. Can you imagine this? I mean, this face with short hair, you could just see the eyes were just like popping.
Well, thank you. I wish I felt that way at the time. TMZ contacted me after the show, and they said, you were on one of the top, they did a segment, top 10 worst makeovers in the history of the show. And guess where I placed? Basically number 2, because I was the only model to ever get 2 makeovers. So after she whacked it off, she still wasn't happy. So she called the top New York stylist. I don't remember her name. She's in Manhattan. And she said, well, there's not much to cut more off. Let's buzz it. And so the buzzers came out, and that made for real juicy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. Brenda gets her second makeover. So that was real
and
fun.
And so Tyra was just ready to get you.
Just get me. So... But everyone always asks me about her, and this is what I'll say.
Yeah.
She wasn't a mother at the time of filming. I think she softened a lot now that she is a mother. Also, she's all business, and that's okay. You know, like, she was one of the first African-American supermodels, along with Naomi Campbell, in the 70s, 80s? I don't want to age her. 80s. And she worked hard to get where she's at. So, I mean, she wants to have one of the best reality shows. More power to you. I wasn't mad about that, you know. But, you know, I'll never forget, like, she came in my room after elimination, and I was crying, but I was kind of happy. I'm like, I'm ready to go home. She's like, sweetheart, you're not going home. Like, if you went home, the whole world would know you didn't win. So they keep you.
They keep you after
they keep you hidden away. She's like, you're going to New Zealand. And I'm like, oh, no. Even further from my family. I was like, no, I still remember that vividly. So.
And so then you went to New Zealand.
I went to New Zealand.
Okay, so how far did you make it in the show? Because I know, like, sometimes we'll just talk and we don't, you know, some people watch the show, some people haven't. So you go through each week and someone's eliminated out. So how many people are on the show at the beginning of your season? How many models?
13.
13.
13 or 14.
Okay.
And I made it halfway. I won the first runway challenge, which was unrealistic again from being a runway model.
Yeah.
Put all the models in danger. You know, 4-6 inch heels, tight gowns where you know you can't walk too fast. And they did a swinging pendulum.
Yeah.
And the swinging pendulums were heavy. And if you didn't time your stride, it actually it knocked some girls off the stage.
Oh my goodness, that's so ridiculous.
But I won. And
of course you did.
Rachel Roy, it was her collection. Okay. And so I won the dress. I won another trip back to New York to shoot her lookbook. And she was fabulous. Yeah. I really I love her designs anyway. Yeah. I think she's even in Macy's
She's
now.
at Neiman's. I know.
Neiman's,
she was
Macy's,
at Neiman's, Macy's. Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed talking with her. And then I loved Mrs. J. You know, she was just so fabulous. And she would do the runway, teach us the runway. And then Mr. J was more serious with the silver.
Yeah, with the silver hair. The silver fox.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you enjoyed parts of it. It was a competition. They were obviously trying to do things like make you wear dresses you'll fall in or can walk in. I mean, it's a reality show. Yeah. I did Fear Factor. Did you know I did Fear Factor?
No.
Anyway, the whole time, all they're trying to do the whole time is get you to say something bad about your contestant. Remember?
Really?
Yeah, they do the little side interviews like every time after you do the
Fear
challenge.
Factor was like, is she afraid of spiders? You're going in a coffin with spiders.
Or you're doing you're 4 stories up, spinning around, walking on a platform.
Okay.
Or like mine was like crazy stuff. But the point is, they're constantly trying to get you to say something bad or do something bad. They want the drama because it's a reality show and people at home actually think that's what's happening. But really, the interview guy backstage, right after that scene is like, what do you think about Sally? And you're like, I think she's fine. And they're like, but she's a little dumb, right? And you're like,
she doesn't like redheads. Say something.
Yeah, say something. And they position the question so that it comes back out like you made a random statement about this person. And of course, that's what they play. And so
I did an interview when I got back with Oliver Twist, who's now up and coming. He's a huge sensation in Atlanta, and he's expanding. He has his own show now. And he asked me, he has a 10 million followers. Yeah. He said, your season was a very racial season. And I said, actually, when you were in it, it wasn't. I said, I have probably 2 Caucasian friends. All my friends are Latinas, Black, Asian. I don't, that's never been an issue to me, especially in this industry. But unfortunately, Cycle 14, the way they filmed it, was like me and 2 girls were a group, and then the other girls were a group. And they made it real racial. And actually, someone who was supposed to be my arch enemy literally just came to Houston 2 months ago to hang out with me. I took her all around the town, and she issued me, way before she came to town, 2 public apologies, went on TMZ. Yeah. Angelique, she's like, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to say all these horrible things. I said, girl, we were young. Yeah. I think I was 23 on that show.
They're getting them to say it. They're getting them to say it. They're prepping them with the questions to say bad things about people when it didn't even really... It wasn't meant to be said like that.
That's right. Yeah, but they need the drama.
Yeah, the drama is how it works, and that's why she whacked off your hair, because you were so pretty and you took such pretty pictures. And
I see it as a compliment now, but at the time it did not. I felt picked on, but that's okay.
I know you did. And I'm sorry for that. But I may or may not have put some pictures from America's Top Model on her birthday cake. Sure.
Yes, she did.
So I think they're fabulous. I've got them all saved in my phone. And the runway shot, I just love that one.
That one was great.
That's a great shot.
Talk about feeling uncomfortable when on the show you have no lie, because it's an international show, 15 light guys, 15 camera guys, 15 mic guys. The first challenge, naked. They put a table of items and made us move back 50 feet and rang a bell and said, run to your item. And girls are pushing and shoving. Yeah. So I got the watch. What am I supposed to do with a watch? You're completely nude. Figure it out. So it's online. You can see my nude shot. I thought it was decent.
I thought it was great. I've seen it.
And I had a black wig. Yeah. I'm like, you're still covering up my red hair.
Yeah. I know. Right?
I was the only one with a black wig.
Yeah. She's like,
everybody else
we gotta
got their
put a black wig on her. Now that I've cut her hair.
She was confused. Yeah. I will say, Tyra, she didn't know what to do with me.
Yeah. But she knew you were a seasoned model. You'd already been signed. And maybe that's kind of part of the, they get a model in there that kind of knows what's up, and then they just try to sabotage them. I don't know. I'm just saying that could be what they do, because it's reality TV, and we all know it's just all about the drama.
All about the drama, girl.
And so, did you cry on the show? I'm just curious. Were there times where you cried? I know you said you cried when you...
Oh, yeah. I cried because I missed my daughter.
Yeah. You were emotional.
Yeah. I should say I missed my fiance too, but it was really my daughter. And I cried, of course, with the makeover. It was hard being in New Zealand. That's the other side of the world. But it was good. You know, it was a good experience. I would not trade it. It's a story to tell my grandchildren, and not everyone has that experience. So I feel blessed.